Hey, good morning, Red Knights. It's Monday, April 6th. You made it through a great weekend. Hopefully, you're able to get outside, get some sunshine, do some yard work, practice social distancing. So, anyway, I'm going to talk quickly because this is kind of like a broken record. And we'll just go down the list here. So, I hope to see you this morning at your appointed time, first hour from 10 to 10:30, and from 10:30 to 11. I hope to see you third hour there. And I want to see your faces. I want to talk with you a little bit about some stuff, mostly about some things that need to get taken care of and done. So let's start with this. We're going to start with the DNA Structure CER, Claim Evidence and Reasoning. So I've put together, because maybe you're just stuck. So I put together a screencast about it. So here's what I think it should look like. Let's make sure you're reading the directions. So the directions are right here, right? So that's on this page right here, the CER directions. And that has some important questions to help you with your reasoning, and I think people are getting stuck there. So if you look at 5 and 6, thinking about those questions and answering the reasoning part of the activity. And then the fact sheet, I keep going back to this because, at times in science, you only know so much. And so in the early 1950s, I know that was a million years ago to you, but in the early 1950s, scientists only knew so much, and they only had so many tools. And some of their tools were, pretty substandard. One of the students asked after they watched the DNA screencast, how did they figure that out? And it's really like sludge. Do you remember sludge, doing sludge in physical science? How you separated all of those things. Some of them were easy, like you could grab the bolt, the piece of wood, the rock. You could grab those things, but then you had to do some more subtle things that were a little more difficult. And so scientists have been able to narrow down DNA to some building blocks, and they just weren't quite sure how to put it together. And so on the DNA fact sheet, those are the rules, right? So those are the rules. And here's actually a couple of, some of one of the tools. So Rosalind Franklin, this woman who in the early 50s was messing around with x-rays and shooting it through DNA. And she came up with some pretty cool pictures that clued in a couple of guys named Watson and Crick about the shape of the molecule. So that's on the DNA fact sheet. And your job is to go back to this and figure out a model. Some of your models have been pretty cool to look at. So here are some student samples. Come on, go away. We're going to talk about you in a minute. So these are some samples that people have come up with, right? Based on the rules. Some of them not so accurate, some of them pretty accurate. But that's really not the important part. The important part is to arrange this based on the rules on the fact sheet. So these rules that are on this fact sheet, try to put these parts of the subunit together and make sense of it. Okay? And then over on the reasoning, how did you do it? How did you know what went where? That's what I want to see you're thinking about that. So that's really important for this activity. So some of you are done with this, and I've given you some feedback. You need to go back to the feedback. So when I give you feedback, what's going to happen is it's going to look like this. So there's going to be a comment, and I'm going to make a comment, and then I'm going to send it to you, and I expect you to respond, especially if I ask you to make some changes to your reasoning. Some reasonings have been really solid. Some reasonings have not. They've been really kind of weak sauce. So that's really some thinking. I want to see your thinking. That's what that's about. And again, go back to the directions, and the directions are right here, right? So use these things 5 and 6 to help with your reasoning. That's what you should be doing. All right. So I expect you to see you in office hours today. And some of you are past this. Some of you have done the screencast. Some of you are about to go on to the DNA structure formative assessment and the correction. Some of you actually have done that. And then, we're going to head into a gizmo. All right, so that's the next step, to really refine that model of DNA. All right, so it's Monday, April 6th. Good morning, Red Knights. Let's make it a good Holy Week. All right, I'll see you on the meet. Holy cow, how could I forget the BioBox project? So sometime today, or tomorrow, hopefully Monday, you're going to be getting a box. In the box are 3 experiments. The directions for the experiments are back on Power School Learning. First thing you need to do is take your phone, take a little selfie with the BioBox while you're opening up the BioBox. That's the first thing you need to do. There's a calendar at the bottom of this page. Over on the right hand side are the different experiments, some how-tos. There's also the how-tos are right here. You're going to be curating your work on the BioBox on a Google slide. And all the directions are on this page. Calendar at the bottom with suggested timeline. So how could I forget the BioBox project? So that's one more thing that I'd like you to think about and get involved in doing some more science. All right? Hope that helps.